Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Board of Selectmen's meeting, Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. Sorry for the late start. It is 5:11. Could we all start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yep. Thank you. Citizens input. There being none, we will move on to administration, please. Town administrator is going to give us an update.
We hired Todd Marino to be the new manager for the transfer station. He started last week. He's working on his DES certification and also completing administrative tasks because he can't do a lot of things over there yet. He is a Newton resident who has extensive background in management, and we welcome him and are excited for him to be part of the team to make some changes over there and grow it.
And then you want to go over the transfers of the internal funds, please?
Okay, there's, the first one is, the payroll. When the payroll's booked for the police details, it was put on budget line, so we have to get reimbursed from the detail fund for those those amounts. So it's, I'm requesting to transfer $71,430 into the general fund.
I'll just, like, you
We'll
want to
take them one at a time.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I authorize the treasurer to transfer $71,430 from the bank account titled Police Special Detail Fund to the general fund for costs associated with payroll.
Second.
Motion by Joe, seconded by Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we will wait for Mr. Conley to get his seat. So we're going over the internal transfers, Mike.
Okay.
Of the funds. Go ahead, please.
The second transfer is for $66,886.92, to be taken out of the inspector's fees revolving fund and put into the general fund to offset the costs for the building department for 2024 and year-to-date for 2025. It just was never done for 2024.
So I authorize the treasurer to transfer $66,886.92 from the bank account titled Inspector Fees to the general fund for costs associated with inspections for 2024 and year-to-date 2025.
Second.
Motion by Joe, seconded by Joe. All in favor? Aye. Unanimous.
And the last one is a trust, is on the trustees of the trust fund, to withdraw $37,500 from the assessing revaluation account, because we had our reval year, so those are the costs. I'm not sure if we'll get another bill for it, but right now that's the total. And we just need that to be reimbursed into the general fund.
So I authorize the trustees of the trust fund to withdraw $37,500 from the assessing reevaluation account and deposit the funds into the general fund to cover the costs associated with the 2025 reevaluation.
Second.
Motion by Joe, seconded by Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Robin, can you make sure you email these minutes to the trustees and to the treasurer so that can happen?
Do you want the account number, the last four digits, or does that not, I have them written down, I just,
No, that's
Okay.
fine. I mean, maybe in the email include that, but
yeah.
I don't think you need to do that.
Yeah, let's make sure that they give you a response when it's done.
Yeah, you can update us next meeting, not tomorrow, but, unless you have an answer tomorrow. That's fine.
We'll see.
All right, very good. We are going to move on to budget presentations. General assistance is up first.
She couldn't be here, so she asked me to present for her. Yes. So for the welfare department, general assistance, it's pretty much level funded. She increased, I think, the rent mortgage assistance a little bit. And then that's really all she increased. The social services is down. I kind of broke out what social services accounts, organizations we pay. The highlighted ones are just, we haven't gotten their letter yet, so I don't know if we'll be paying them, but I put them in, because we usually do. But it's pretty much, it's only up 2%, so.
Do you know why the telephone line is so far off?
That's to pay for people that need help, so they must not have,
That's not a telephone line for her?
no.
So do we need all that extra money there?
Left it there.
I would keep it there just in case.
Yeah,
So actuals.
I don't think, she didn't leave it there. She lowered it.
she did decrease it.
Yeah.
It's just weird because every other budget telephone line is for their town telephone. This one, it should say telephone assistance then.
She doesn't have, well, the whole thing is assistance, except for the top two things. She doesn't have a phone. It's,
The only question I would have, if you look at the average over the last couple of years, she's below her average payout.
yes. But the only problem is with this department, it's the only department that you kind of have to guess, because you never know who needs services. And it's the only department that could make us go below our entire budget. If, like, let's say we had a ton of people in town that needed help with mortgages and rent and stuff, and it made our bottom line budget go over budget, it's the only department that we would have to pay it.
No, I know, but that's why I'm questioning, so when I see this department is when I always question when they come below
Yeah,
on their budget, because if their average has been higher, that could
people, yeah.
So maybe you should make that,
question it and just ask her comfort level.
Yeah, I will, yeah.
so we could make it $500 and just,
Instead of 4,
yeah,
37.
yeah.
Well, it's been 437 every year,
Yeah,
except for last year. Which I'm not sure how it
I
got there
don't-
last year either, because
I'm not
that's,
sure.
that's
how
not the
it
right
got
number.
Up higher last year.
No. It should have been 533.94, if anything.
You need to take out, line 4442142 out of it completely.
The
Yes, I was
contingency.
gonna ask that, because it's in there, but I don't know why.
That's a warrant article that we do
Okay.
every year, and that just, it's not part of the budget, so that just needs to come out.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I guess social services is fine being in there. That's another thing that we passed it twice in a row for all those services, so now we just include it in our default budget instead of putting it on a warrant article.
But if we don't hear
It
from
has
those,
to be in the budget,
If
so
we
that's
don't-
why it's,
Well, it's automatically in the budget.
Now it
yeah.
is, before it used to be always in a warrant article, so,
if,
but yeah, if you don't hear from
We
these
don't-
people, it just needs to be adjusted.
I'd yank it, yeah,
it's
definitely.
the 3 that are yellow down below are the ones that we haven't heard from. I don't have requests from them.
Okay.
Any questions?
No.
I'm all set.
We good?
So to your point is having it in there though, it's just showing it in the budget, right? At $30,000.
Yeah, well, it is. It's
That's
part
we-
of the budget.
Yeah,
now.
we,
Right,
Part
so
of the
that's why
budget.
it's, she's got it listed in hers, so it shows up as part of the budget. Okay. Then we're just gonna zero out that contingency fund.
Yes, I'll zero that out.
Okay. Very good. Everybody all set with this one?
yep.
Okay, we'll move on to recreation. Jessica, if you would please.
Hi, everyone.
Evening.
So, correct me if I'm doing anything out of the norm here, but my major increases you'll see are advertising and special programs. The main reason for the increase in advertising, one thing I've taken away from all of our major events that we've done, such as Old Home Day, Trunk or Treat, this is a smaller event, but the town yard
Yard
sale. We really need new signage. If you drive around town, everything is very weathered. It's very small. It's not catching anything. So we're spending all this money putting on these events. So we really should invest in getting the word out there. I know it's a significant increase, but it would just be for this year. The signs should last 5 years or so. The Recreation Commission's very good about maintaining them. They collect them within 24 hours of the event. And then special programs, the significant increase there is because I know we're looking to add some new programs. We definitely want to do the town-wide barbecue. That's going to be a higher cost to the commission, as well as any other smaller programs we wanted to bring in. So that's where that increase comes from. Everything else is pretty comparable to years past.
The only thing I'll add is we broke out the porta potties and what else?
Greenie
Oh,
Park.
Greenie Park out of repairs. So
So it's
They stay
out
the
of
same, but we
the
broke them out.
maintenance from, it's out of ground, so, and
Yeah.
it's into this one. Okay.
Just so we can be more organized and see what we're really spending things on.
So the porta potties are at Greenie and at the
Beach.
beach.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we do rent them for Trunk or Treat, Old Home Day, so there's a few events that they come in for as well.
Makes sense.
Any questions?
I'm just gonna say, anybody got anything to ask?
I'm good.
So you're keeping your salary? Sorry, you're proposing your salary at the 21. Your current was 13?
Yeah, so for the lifeguards, unfortunately, we were significantly understaffed last year. We never had anyone on the weekends. We had a lot of shifts that were 2 to 5. We didn't have full coverage, so ideally, we would definitely love to have people on the weekends do a full day, 10 to 5, and then even on weekdays if possible. So that's why I would like an increase there as well.
So what were you basing the wage on, the hourly?
Between 18 and 20 is what the girls make, and then they usually get $1 bump if they've come back for another year.
But is that competitive enough to get you to steal people from other places?
We're hoping so. We're trying to form a partnership right now with the YMCA and local places. So in talking with them, it seems it should be. So we're hoping we can work with that budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I add one other thing to that? The beach salary line also had a lifeguard supervisor position in it, which we could take out of that line now because she's the administrator for the whole department now. So we don't need a separate lifeguard supervisor anymore.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, I'm good.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sam, if you would be so kind, please. Building Department.
Sam Zanini, Building Inspector. I want to thank everyone for letting me go ahead of the fire chief. 'Cause he could be here a while. So 2026 changes, it looks a lot different than 2025, but I'll give you an explanation as we go. Do you want me to go through each line item?
Sure, there's only 10. so-
Right,
Yeah.
have at it.
Yeah, hit them all.
Yeah, I want to keep the chief here a while anyway. Yeah. So, anyways, dues and subscriptions stayed the same. Office supplies increased to $650 from $150. We budgeted $150 last year, was level from 2024. We just, without that money, we didn't get that money for that funding for 2025. We had a proposed increase last year. We didn't get it, and we're running really far behind on office supplies, such as inspection report forms and stuff like that we have to buy, that we won't be able to buy if we don't increase it. So, also, code books, we had money in there for code books for the 2021 change. The state adopted the 2021 codes. We had budgeted for that, and we didn't get the money, so we didn't buy any books. The state's looking at very soon adopting the 2024 cycle of codes, and we'll have to purchase some, so that's why you see that increase. Postage is gonna stay the same as last year's proposed. So salary administration looks real lopsided right there. Actually, no, it doesn't. That was just an increase. Salary administration, so we increased hours last year for the permit clerk's position. We had an increase of hours, and that's what that reflects for 2026. Salary code enforcement is a significant change, and that is because in years past, the only thing that went in the budget was the code enforcement stipend for a line item of $10,400. It's been like that for years. And the building inspector stipend never went into that. So myself and the town administrator, we rolled that $15,900, $15,600, and added it to the 10,400 that was budgeted in previous years for code enforcement. In other words, the town was paying it, it just wasn't showing up in the budget for years.
Right.
So we rolled that in, and that number became the new number you see of $32,479.20. That's level funded from previous years, so it's really not an increase, it's just showing up here.
Paula, are these backwards on our spreadsheet?
No, he just read the wrong line.
Did I?
Yeah, it's 26,000.
I'm sorry, 26,000, yes, it's 26,000,
Even
I
the cost,
apologize.
The current cost, 11,000 versus the 16, and then at 35,000 over the 10.
So the,
Seems like some of these lines just might be,
It's because when the payroll gets typed in, his fees also go into payroll, so that's what we get reimbursed from the revolving fund. Does that make sense? So the actuals will, a lot of the time, be higher because we haven't gotten reimbursed yet.
good.
right, so you'll see, like, the salary code enforcement looks like it's a significant jump. It's staying the same as it has in previous years. It's just that the building inspector stipend wasn't showing up, and now we just built it into the code enforcement salary. Also, that money, it's actually a decrease in the budget because, as you know now, that money is going to be coming out of the revolving fund. So it's actually, it's not a burden on the taxpayer anymore. It comes out of fees that are raised in the revolving fund. So it's basically the user fee. So it's actually going, it looks like it's going up, but it's really going down. And the town administrator can help you with that if you have any other questions at the end. Telephone went down because we are getting rid of the cell phones. And so that's a reduction to $600 from $1,120. And then training's increased just because the cost of training is higher than it used to be. And I'd like to try to get a little bit more. So there was a little increase there. And then travel, we didn't have any. We didn't have any travel. I had budgeted for it last year. It didn't work out, so we didn't have any. So we have a travel budget in there of $200. So if we have to go to training or anything like that, it's basically the mileage.
Right.
And I think that's it. So like I said, it looks like it's a lot higher. But most of it's the salaries that the town is, the same exact salary the town has been paying for years. It's showing up here now, and it's coming out of a revolving fund, so it's actually a reduction. Do you want to explain that, Paula, or they get it?
Yeah,
think
the
we
revolving fund
understand.
reimburses whatever the budget, whatever that bottom line comes out to be.
Yeah.
It just happens towards the end of the year than during the year.
So you can't tell us what line item the building inspector was getting paid out of?
It was
What
getting
was it
paid out of
getting
that
pushed
code,
to?
it was paid out of that code enforcement, that,
Right, which is why it's up to 35,000, right?
yes.
Right. That's why I was questioning, that one was up so high, from the 10,000, it was up to 35.
All the building and code enforcement pay is going into that line item when it's getting booked, when payroll gets booked.
But it
Then-
wasn't before? I guess that's what I'm talking about, in year like 2022.
Yeah, it should have been, that's the technical way.
Where was it in our budget? I don't know if you know or can look, or we can go
I
back
can
and
look, but
try
I
to
don't know
figure out.
where it was.
I'd like to see where it was.
Yeah, I
You
don't
what
know
mean?
if it was getting booked and taken straight out of the revolving fund, which doesn't make sense because payroll comes out of the general fund. So it's
Right.
always, we would
Right.
have to reimburse
Right,
anyway.
and that's one of the transfers we just did.
Correct, yeah, for 24 and 25.
Right.
But I'll look back to see kind of where
I'm
it was
just
getting
interested to
booked.
see where it was gonna, because then maybe we can tie it to another budget that is attached to,
Yeah.
lower that salary line.
Yep, but 2025, everything's been going into that code enforcement line.
Right. So it looks like an increase, but it's really not.
Right.
You know, and same thing with the other miscellaneous increases of 1925, that'll also be coming out of the revolving budget, out of the revolving fund as well.
Dan just wants to be able to back that
I understand.
sum out of the other, wherever else it was actually coming out of.
Right.
So we know.
Well,
Right.
because if it was in a budget, it should have been in the default
Right.
budget.
Yep.
Right.
It just looks a lot different, and it looks like there are significant increases, but we're not really spending any more than we were.
I know it's unfortunate, though, you can't budget for revenue, so
Right.
we have to
Yeah.
budget for what
Right.
the cost
Yep.
is. So,
Yep.
I get it.
Yep.
Yeah, because you have to, and this is more for, I'm sure you guys all understand, but you have to raise and appropriate anything you want to spend.
Right.
So you have to show what you want to spend, even
Right.
if it gets reimbursed.
Right.
Yep.
My point is, it looks like a big surprise, like, wow, why is it up so much? But that's why.
No, it's explainable. That's fine.
But that's it, I mean,
Are your fees up to date? Are there anything you need to change on any of that stuff?
no, not right now.
Yeah, we just went up on them
About 2 years ago. About 2 years
2
ago.
years ago, yeah. We made an adjustment on a few of them.
I would say give it another year and look at it in a year from now and see how we're
Doing a
doing with that.
reassessment,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks, Sam.
Right?
All right, Sam,
Good.
thanks,
All right.
Sam.
Thank you.
All right, we broke out the pillows, we're ready. We will now have the fire department.
There you go. Good evening, Board.
How you doing, chief?
Unlike Sam, we have a lot more lines in our budget. A few of them increased now that there is staffing. Office supplies increased, facility, other expenses on the facility increased. The biggest one is salaries. Since the voters voted in '24 to cover the station 24/7, there's no way of getting around salary increase, because we have to staff the station. Those were the major ones that went up. There was several that were decreased. And working with the town administrator, the 26 proposed budget is actually less than what the 25 proposed budget was.
Say that again? It was less than what?
The 2025 proposed
Proposed budget.
was higher than what his 2026 proposed. It didn't pass the 25.
Did you
No, I
pull that
understand.
column right out of the spreadsheet? Is that why it's gone?
No, it wasn't in there. I only had the actual budget that
I was just
passed.
looking for that.
I'll put it in,
Yeah.
I'll put it in.
Could probably get rid of some of the older
So you think you
ones.
can fully staff in the next year and going forward with less than what you were proposing last year?
I apologize.
So if you think about it, you think the salary, just the salary line,
Yep.
you can fully staff with less than what you were proposing last year?
I think that's more.
No, what he was saying, the bottom line of his budget
Bottom line.
from 25 to.
Oh, we're on the salary,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, I think
okay.
the salary line's actually more than it was for the proposed.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The,
Okay.
the bottom line is less.
Because I think you had in the proposed like 500 and something last year in the salary line.
I thought it was a little more, but I think you're in the neighborhood.
And this 414 is not a good number, really, his current salary, because you haven't staffed full-time.
No, that's the actual, but yeah, he hasn't
It's not
staffed,
a-
he's never staffed full-time.
Right, so we don't have an actual, so, yeah, like Mike said, that 620 will be correct?
It should.
Have you modeled out full staff, what that would be in the salary line?
It would depend on the hourly rate. When I stood up here, January of '24, when we were doing the warrant article, and Deputy Kane, when he stood and met with the town administrator, at the top dollar, which was $30 per hour, it came out to, I think it was 600, about 600,000. When I stood up here, I was going a little less than the 30 per hour, and I asked for 499,000 to staff the station.
That's right, I remember that.
So-
But we also have a call force, too.
So I just did the math, at $30 an hour times 2 employees for 365 days is 525,600.
Correct. And that's why I came in at 499, because the 499 sounded better than the 5.
So some of your existing budget, your 239,000, the staff, the salary you've already been paying, some of that money is going towards the 24 anyways, right?
Correct.
Okay. because I was gonna say, if you add up the 525 plus the 239, you should be around 764, but I just wanna make sure you have the ambulances and you have your regular firefighters
As
and,
was stated when the proposal came forward, you're looking at least 2 to 3 years before really figuring out a better amount. Just like I was off on supplies, I didn't realize we were gonna use so much paper and everything else in the fire station having 24-hour coverage.
Chief, how about medical supplies? Are you up to speed on that? Do you have enough to cover? Because I know you've had increased calls, your call frequency's really increased. And
We should, and the reason I say that is when I met with the town administrator and we put this through, our dispatch, which is Rockingham County, came up with a new system. For many years, they would send us the call information, which was 1 page. Now, depending on the call, it can be 3, 4 pages. So, again, we're in the beginning stage
okay.
of it.
Chief, what's the supply line for? You have one line, 310, that just says supplies. It's been zeroed out for years. And this year, it looks like we billed $55 to it. But you just said supplies went up.
That could be just a misposting.
Yeah.
So
I've been
when you say
reading-
supplies, like it's office supplies then, is what you're saying went up?
2, office supplies went up, and facility expenses went up. The facility expenses, paper towels, toilet paper, cleaning supplies, the members are cleaning that station every single day during their shift. So we're going through floor cleaner, carpet cleaner.
So that supply line ended in 310, we should probably just zero that out altogether?
That supply line is a new line for this year.
Yeah, that was
Alright.
just a misposting at the beginning of the year. I already moved it earlier today, but after this was,
Okay. What do we post at that line? What type of supplies that go into that
it
line?
shouldn't be there.
Oh, shouldn't be, okay, very good,
An
sorry about
expense
that.
was just put in the
Okay,
wrong-
I got you, okay, very good.
So if you're now staffed 24/7, or going that way, I would expect to see ambulance supply also going up, things on the ambulance.
I can tell you ambulance supplies, the ambulance supplies,
I'm probably missing it, I'm just,
It's under medical supplies.
which is under the medical supplies.
Yeah, 308.
oh, okay.
So it actually went down from last year's. It's your actual costs.
Yeah, but there's still a month and a half remaining.
Yeah. Medical,
So the other question I have is how much of these expenses, now that the other ambulance services aren't gonna come in and we do our own transport, how much of this can we recoup?
Oh, no.
that,
No
I
idea.
have no idea. In all honesty, that's what's gonna take a couple of years to figure out
Get an
what the collection rates are, what the insurance reimbursement is. There's a lot of factors to that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, part of that is that Chief had brought it up before, that New Hampshire residents, they get the check sent to them.
I know.
It doesn't go, so it's hard to try to, when it goes to collections, to actually get hold of the money, so.
Chief, your protective clothing, you're all set with that, in that total?
We
Are you up to
actually,
speed on that? In other words, the stuff that's expiring and,
increased the protective clothing line
okay.
Yeah.
from what it was last year.
Okay, you feel that'll be enough to cover
We
you?
tried,
250.
what we have tried to do is purchase 4 sets of gear. And the reason for that is, a year ago, we had, I believe, 24 members. We have 31 or 32 now, and we need to hire more, so we're growing. So the oldest sets of gear that are still within date, we're replacing the senior members' gear, so it's being
Slows down, yeah,
hand-me-down.
Okay, good. But you're okay with that then, with where you're going? Okay, good.
So Chief, the only other question I have is the vehicle repairs, vehicle maintenance. Now you have 2 ambulances. You didn't change those numbers from last year.
Actually, and the reason for that is maintenance went up this year from last year. Oh, I apologize. The main reason is the year's not over, and as of this year, we have not completed some of the maintenance that's required, so we don't have an actual number. As long as none of the apparatus, the older apparatus, breaks down, and in the past, if it's been a major expense, it is being taken out of the capital reserve
Right.
and not out of the fire department line.
So you're comfortable with those 2 lines staying the same for next year? Because they didn't,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying, you didn't have an increase, you just kept them the same.
Again, we have, I've brought up several times, we have some apparatus that is extremely old. It's like a vehicle. It's the unknown.
We had 2 of them that had a hard time getting certified, if I remember correctly, this year.
Personally, there should be 2 of them, maybe 3 moved to pasture.
Can you put that schedule together and maybe present it to us as an option down the road to see what we need to do with that?
I actually sent a proposal to the town administrator that once budget season's done, I'm sure it's gonna go in front of the board.
Good.
Okay.
I have one question. After we talked this morning and stuff, fire hose inspections,
Yes,
is that in here?
that usually goes under equipment repairs.
Okay.
And the board signed a contract with them that I think expires next year. That'd be the ladder and hose testing.
That's for less than $5,000?
It's, if I remember correctly, I think it was like $3,900. But again, like everything else, I have no idea what 2026 rates are gonna be.
Everything I'm looking at is things are going up, so, yeah.
This equipment lease, is that a new line now too? Because it's been zeroed out for years and then,
If it's in the current, it's probably just a misclassification and that'll be corrected.
okay. Any changes for fuel now that Estabrooks is gone?
No, we've been, the only minor change. The department is still going to the state yard.
Right.
There was several months that we had an issue with a fob, with a couple of vehicles' fobs, so we couldn't use the state yard. And with Estabrook being closed, we had to use the credit card across the street for fuel. But the owner of the 108 store stopped at the fire station, and I sent him, I don't know if he ever made it down to
He did, but he never came back with,
a proposal.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Good follow-up, great.
Anybody got anything else?
Just you cut the forest fire expenses too, right?
Correct. What's been happening in the past, I forget that that's there. So when the forestry needs equipment, we've been purchasing it out of the fire department line. We've been purchasing the fuel for the truck out of the fire department line. The only thing is the salary line that is payable to the permit writers and the deputy wardens the last pay cycle of the calendar year.
Right.
And it's usually Ralph Estabrook and Robert Zelinski are the only 2 that have that, since I've been here, that have turned in funds.
So my question is, looking at the forest fire grant, so I'm assuming, and you know, people say you should never assume, but we have Trish sitting there, when we have grants, we technically have to have some place to put them, correct?
This is
Correct.
grant match line,
That-
too.
That's why in the fire department line, there is a line for grant match.
The very last one.
So we'll be able to put that,
To 3,000.
Yeah.
encompass all in that one grant? All right, I
Right.
just wanted to make sure we had some place to put it. Because once you zero it out,
Yeah, it's there.
okay. Anything else?
I'm good.
See, that was painless, chief.
It's always painless.
We just really have to get the word out for the payroll and the needing the coverage and to get that budget passed, because the town wants it, we gotta pay for it.
Yeah, I would suggest, I know the police chief is starting to post things going on in town.
Right.
I would take some time if you, I'm not a poster, it's technical, so don't ask me for help there. However, I'm getting a lot more people like, holy, you know, there's a couple of ha-ha moments going on right now in the town, like that actually happens in this town.
Right.
And I would encourage you to, I'm sure you got plenty of men and women that are good at that kind of thing. Get it out there what you do, because you should let the public know that those monies that you're asking for go to, whether it's a fire on Main Street or forest fires or saving people's lives.
A car getting hit by the train today.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
some people hear about it, some don't. We've got some commuters, right? Just,
Yep.
I would just encourage that to help you get your budgets.
That's fine.
Another suggestion to me the other day, and I think I mentioned it to you, was, and I'll look into if it's legal, because only certain things can go in the tax bills, but to put an insert with the tax bills. With
Yeah.
something, you know?
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Like a
Basically,
little
this year
description of
versus
why,
last year with
right.
calls this year versus last year with medical and everything. I'm sure the majority of our calls are all medical, and that's gone up tremendously because of the population age and
We actually, I don't know if I have it with me, Joe, we actually ran last year's calls, I think it was October 1st. We are up how much, I don't have it, this is all budget. How much, I honestly do not know, but the majority of the calls every year
Yep.
in any fire department in this country is going to be EMS. Any fire department that runs EMS, I'm going to guess 60%? Yeah, easily is EMS.
Yeah, I think the residents have to be aware of that because that's, you know, when they call, they want someone to show up and so.
Well, and there's a reason why we use that opera money and some other funds that we had set aside to save some of that money to purchase the new ambulance, so that the town would be able to have it for service, knowing with what took place. And if anybody's out there on social media, reading and seeing what's taking place in these other towns, and the fact that we always put out there the response times, you know, and a lot of people out there, they talk about, oh, mutual aid. Well, the definition of mutual is two people working together. It's not one town covering for another town all the time, which then becomes resentful and says, you're gonna start to pay for it. So one way or another, this town is gonna end up paying for it. And to have our own crews be able to respond within minutes versus up towards a half hour or better, if somebody else is even available, we're talking life and death situations.
I can honestly tell you, to Mike's point, the last 3 structure fires we had, we were lucky. and one was right down the street at 85 South Main Street. We were lucky that we had firefighters, certified firefighters, EMS personnel. They were able to get on scene. That engine company on each of those 3 structure fires were able to knock down that fire. So if we didn't have them, just drive by 85 South Main Street. We've had, I don't even remember how many saves by having EMS personnel in the station.
Well,
We just don't post, and that's on me, I'll take, because
I'm just trying to help you sell it.
no, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Believe me, I truly agree with you. We have 2 individuals, unfortunately, one is out of service right now, because our Facebook page belonged to, the creator of the Facebook page belonged to an ex-member of the department, so we had to see them. I'm not a Facebook person, but the way it was explained to me, since he was the creator, he's got to give the admin rights to be able, so we're going to try, because as of right now, like I said, there's only 2 admins.
And I'll make one other point to what the chief just said. So we see constantly in the news, California, up in Maine, all these other places, heavily woods, right? We've been having very dry fall seasons and going into droughts. In those type of conditions, if a fire is not met and rendered immediately under control, this town could end up just like what you see on the news where all those other towns are getting wiped out. Because that's how quick it'll travel through these woods and take out blocks of houses that we have here.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I'm good.
One other thing, Chief. You might want to just maybe put a paragraph of key points for your budget. I think it might be something we want to put in our voter's guide. You know, just to, when we send out the voter's guide, just a couple, not a big thing about it, because then people stop reading, but a couple key points
Yep.
of why we need the money and just to help us
Yep,
you know,
absolutely.
get it out to the voters.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Chief.
Thanks, chief.
Thanks, gang.
And thank you guys for showing up, and thank you for what you do for this town.
Yes, thank you.
You guys go unnoticed, but I see it.
And being present for Veterans Day. That goes large. Okay, approvals, 2026 Board of Selectmen meeting schedule.
Yeah, is this the one right here?
There was one date that was kind of close to a holiday, but I figured we
No,
could
that's
just
not it.
play that by ear. We'll see what's going on.
Which date was that?
I forget when I looked
Well, the
at it.
24th is
which
what you're
holiday
talking
it
about?
was.
No, I think he's talking about the email that went out. I think, right, you're talking
Yeah,
the whole
With the
selectmen
dates.
agenda for next year.
Are you talking about St. Patrick's Day, Bob? Because I didn't read that when you said that. So we
no,
got
it
to
wasn't,
read that.
it wasn't St. Patty's Day. I forget which one it was.
Okay, I don't see.
But like I said, you know, we do what we do best. Take care of it on the go as we go by.
So, yeah, what's today's?
Oh, September
18th.
1st? When's Labor Day?
No, it's not till that, it's not till that.
And I notified you I'm not around tomorrow night.
Sorry?
I'm not around tomorrow night, right? I notified you. I canceled or didn't accept the invite. Did you see it?
I do not.
Okay.
You'll be missed.
Yes, and you will too, so I'll,
Oh, I have to come.
All right, so we're good with the meeting. Abatement interest credit for tax map 1-4-1.
I move to approve the tax abatement.
Excuse me for 1 second. You want a quick
Can
review
we
of?
just hold off till tomorrow? I just want to double check with the assessor again.
On the interest.
Even though I've done it like 3 times, but
Okay.
And we'll do it tomorrow night. But what it is basically, the resident from last week that you signed the approval. This is the actual, we had to add the interest in, so that's all this is.
Right, so we're just making sure that the interest part of it is correct, that we're applying towards it.
So can we amend that motion then to, based upon the final
We're not
approval?
gonna do the motion, right? We'll wait.
We'll wait.
Just want to hold off on it, okay.
Yeah.
Mike, did you need this? This is, I think, the schedule sheet.
Yeah, I saw that. I was just thinking of this thing in here, sorry.
All right, food donation pantry, recognition of.
It's Marie. not
Maria.
No, Marie.
Marie
Marie.
Sapienza.
Sapienza. I hope I said that right.
You did.
You did.
So we would like to thank Maria, or Marie, for her wonderful donation of $100 to the Newton Food Pantry. Very generous, especially at this time of year. We thank her. And somebody want to make the motion?
Yeah, I'll move to accept and expend the unanticipated funds for the food pantry in the amount of $100 for Marie Sapienza pursuant to RSA 31:95-B.
Second.
Motion by Joe, seconded by Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we're gonna go to action items, announcements. So the Board of Selectmen will be meeting again tomorrow at 5 PM to continue going over budgets. The Newton tree lighting will be held Sunday, November 30th at 5 PM at the,
At the old schoolhouse on 22 South Main Street.
Historic Society.
yep. And please do not forget the Toys of Tots will be held at the Newton Fire Station on December 13th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Please bring an unwrapped toy and enjoy the many festivities that'll be there. Want to take the next one, Joe?
Yeah, our annual senior luncheon will be held on Tuesday, December 9th at 12 o'clock. We're going to have a catered meal at the, and it'll take place at the Country Pond Fishing Game Club. And we'd like residents to check in on our website, so that way we have an idea as to what the count will be.
Very good.
I have one other thing.
Yeah, I also want to bring up, anybody out there that gets into the joy of Christmas with the decoration of your house and/or your neighbor, on the town website and the rec website, there is a link that you can go on to put your house address in there. The rec department would love to put together a map so that families with little children could actually drive around the town and be able to go to your house and take a look at all the wonderful ornaments that you put up and the light decorations and fully enjoy the Christmas season with all your hard work that you do with your displays.
Just don't put my address on there. I'm not doing it this year.
I know, I
Oh,
know.
you're not?
No.
What is this town coming to?
Maybe next year.
Anybody
You
else
get a seat on
have
the
any
board,
other
and then you stop doing the fun
announcements?
stuff. Holy cow.
Couple things.
Chief, we're gonna talk about this one a little bit later, you got it?
Go ahead, Joe.
A couple other things. I just want to just thank everybody for their participation at Veterans Day. Ceremony was attended by more people this year than years past, and I'd like to special thanks to the showing from the fire department and the police department, as well as the Boy Scouts and the Sanborn Regional School Choir. And the celebration got a little better this year than it has in the past, so we'd like to see that continued support. And the other thing I'd like to say is that we did receive a resignation on the Recreation Commission from one of our longstanding members, Christine Krasmersky. And with that said, I'd like to read the letter she sent. It is with great sadness that I attend my resignation from the Recreation Commission. I am moving to new report and will no longer be part of the wonderful community that is Newton. Thank you for allowing me to be part of a wonderful commission that gives so much to our town. So we accepted, we accepted, I'm sure we accepted with thanks and gratitude.
Yeah, and we thank her for all her hard work and service that she gave to the town and the residents here. Anything else?
Trish?
Trish? I was saving the best for last.
Oh, thank you. I thought so. So just two things. As far as emergency management goes, we're getting ready to wind up for our Seabrook drills. Everybody's been notified. We'll be doing some training in December and January. Many of you have been notified. But on another note to do with conservation, if I could just say, Conservation had our Stewardship Committee site walk today. We met with Southeast Land Trust to walk the Score property and all the markers. That's about a 7-acre parcel. That's the one that markers were moved a couple of years ago and we had to have it surveyed. And then we did our land heritage preservation easement monitoring today also. So it's nice to know that it was a site walk. I'd like to call it for senior citizens. I think the youngest one was 65 and the oldest one was 83. It was amazing. But what I do want to say to people in TV land, we confiscated a game camera. You do not have permission to put cameras on private property. That includes town property. I have it. You can reach me at emergency management at the fire station. If it is yours, we took it. It's supposed to be marked with your ID, and you have to have in writing permission from the landowner, whether it's 42 Thornell, it could have been that property, which is part of our easement, or it could have been the Gascora property, which is owned by the town. So I have it. I'm willing to give it back. You need to identify the brand. I want to know roughly the date that you put it there, because I've gone through to see how many thousands of scans we have, photos that we have. And then if you want to keep it there, you've got to get permission from either the town or 42 Thornell, the owner there. So I just wanted to get that out there. So thanks for calling me up. Thanks.
Thanks, Trish.
Thanks, Trish.
Thanks, Trish.
Deer out there. A lot of deer in that picture.
I don't think you want to go up there, Rob, do you? Okay, I didn't think so.
Gonna do this now? Non-public?
Yes, we will now go into non-public RSA 91A:3, hiring.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. And the time is... Thank you.